Hi, my name is Frank Rotering. This podcast channel, Ecological Survival, features content from my website, ecologicalsurvival.org. I'm deeply concerned about humankind's inadequate response to the ecological crisis, and I'm trying to correct this by disseminating my independent analysis and strategy. For more about me and my project, please see the website's About statement. I am a 71-year-old thinker who sees his own death on the horizon. I therefore want to confess my greatest sin. When analyzing the ecological crisis, I have committed thought crimes. Specifically, I have used facts, logic, and an independent mind when I should have trusted the IPCC, the Guardian, and the other representatives of the party and Big Brother. As George Orwell might have said in his novel 1984, I am an environmental thought criminal. Two of my thought crimes are particularly odious. The first is my conclusion that, because unsafe greenhouse gas concentrations cause extreme ecological damage over time, they must be reduced to safe levels as quickly as possible. I should, of course, have listened to the authorities, who insist that the correct approach is to lower emissions to net zero by 2050. This will increase concentrations for another 30 years and likely doom the biosphere, but that's irrelevant. A sound environmental strategy doesn't arise from sound reasoning, but from strict obedience to the party. I deeply regret my hubris. The second of my despicable thought crimes is to believe and publicly state that solar radiation management, or SRM, is likely necessary for humankind's ecological survival. My argument is straightforward. Safe concentrations are at best decades away. Runaway global warming will be a massive risk during this period, and SRM is the only way to appreciably lower this risk. The party has nevertheless decreed that SRM can't be seriously considered, and I should have accepted its judgment without demur. I rue my intellectual conceit. As part of my confession, I must briefly explain why I've made these and other egregious mistakes. Shamefully, I have not applied the standard intellectual techniques for avoiding impermissible thought. Orwell called these crimestop, doublethink, and black-white. Crimestop is the key. As the word indicates, this technique prevents thought crimes. Orwell defined it as, quote, the faculty of stopping short, as though by instinct, at the threshold of any dangerous thought. It includes the power of not grasping analogies, of failing to perceive logical errors, of misunderstanding the simplest arguments if they are inimical to the ruling ideology, and of being bored or repelled by any train of thought which is capable of leading in a heretical direction. Crimestop, in short, means protective stupidity, unquote. Had I been faithful to the party by using crimestop, I would have been revolted by the very idea of safe concentrations. And I would have been oblivious to the fact that reducing emissions to solve a concentration-based problem is illogical. Had I worn the cloak of protective stupidity, I would have joined the thousands of climate scientists who uncritically follow the party's beneficent SRM guidance. I humbly apologize for my apostasy. In the book 1984, no one commits thought crimes with impunity. The thought police are everywhere, and they nab anyone whose mind strays into forbidden territory. The novel's protagonist, Winston Smith, is eventually caught, tortured, and broken. He then masters crimestop and spends the rest of his days in submissive compliance. This is now my goal as well. I intend to join the crowd by infantilizing my mind and betraying my ethics. This will allow me to embrace the IPCC's fairy tales and to succumb to the Guardian's seductive propaganda. It will also allow me to forget about the young and the natural world. In the past, I've had deep concerns about both, but they clearly fall outside the party's concerns, so they can go to hell. I have a request. Should I succeed in negating both logic and compassion, I ask that my epitaph be Orwell's concluding words, quote, "He had won the victory over himself. He loved Big Brother." Unquote.